every day before I make my daily video, I go ahead and I look at what other people are posting just to have an idea of what the community is talking about. And I noticed that Dynasty uploaded a video talking about Mortal Kombat 11 and the potential pre-order bonus. Now, Dynasty's underneath the impression it's going to be Shao Kahn, which I think is a pretty good shout. I think that might end up happening. But assuming it's not going to be Shao Kahn for the sake of this video, I'm going to throw my 2 cents in and who I think might be the pre-order bonus character. For people unsure about whether there's going to be a pre-order bonus character or not, I think it's pretty safe to assume that we will get one, just based on NetherRealm's track record and the way the entire gaming industry is moving forward. All of the $60 games need to come with some type of pre-order bonus. The sales games get from pre-orders opposed to after the launch of the game is dramatically higher. Like, you get a lot more purchases from pre-orders than you do after the release of the game because of things like reviews coming out. It's much easier to tempt someone into purchasing your game through trailers and things like that rather than them being able to actually look at full gameplay and reviews. So the pre-order bonus is actually really valuable for these companies that are still doing $60 games as opposed to like free-to-play games. There's a few different ideas going around the community about what the pre-order character is going to be. Just mentioning Dynasty's video really quickly, he mentioned Shao Kahn, Kintaro even, but there's a whole thing about Kintaro being a DLC pre-order character even though Goro just was, so it just kind of feels a little bit weird to have 2 forearm characters in a row, and Dynasty even mentioned that in his video. Then there's Motaro, which I don't think is going to happen in a 2D game for at least a while, because that character would require a lot of work. Dynasty also mentioned potentially Moloch, but I don't think that one's happening. But I'm gonna throw in some names that weren't mentioned, and surprisingly aren't actually mentioned anywhere really in the community at all. A couple people mentioned it in Dynasty's comment section, but as far as Reddit and other forums and things like that, a lot of these characters aren't mentioned, so I do want to talk about it. First of all, I think we should mention Melina. Melina is currently, as far as the story is concerned, dead. However, Melina is a very popular character, and not having her show up at all in MK11 would be a little bit problematic, especially for people who want to see Jade, Kitana, Scarlet, and Melina all be in the same game. That being said, there's no confirmation of Jade or Scarlet being in this game. However, I would assume that Kitana's going to be in there. And it would be a shame to not see Melina, and one of the few ways that you can get her into the game would be a pre-order bonus. And she's a popular enough character to be put in that slot. Definitely not a character I would rule out. Another character I wouldn't rule out, and he is incredibly iconic, believe it or not, Baraka. As it is, Baraka is already a difficult character to work into your story, and he also met his end in MKX, although the type of character Baraka is, he could get away with that through some convoluted story reasons, but it would be much easier just to make him a pre-order DLC character, rather than actually spending time in the story explaining how he shows up again. I certainly think Baraka is a popular enough character to pull this role off, especially among a more casual Mortal Kombat audience who mostly plays the stories and is more fond of the older games. Honestly, I was a bit disappointed returning to Mortal Kombat and not seeing Baraka in MKX. I was like, what? And there's actually a couple other characters I don't think enough people are mentioning. You've got Shang Tsung, who is currently out of action in the MK story. That being said, he is very easy to write back in. For example, I think it was Ermac's ending in MKX, which did feature Shang Tsung and how he would return, but that story explanation would have to be re-explained in MKX, and if they just want him a part of the playable roster without using him in the story, that's a way to do that. And finally, you've got Quan Chi. I was actually pretty sad to see the way that Quan Chi left the story, because Quan Chi is a cool character, to me anyway. I just think he's really cool, and I thought his animations in MKX were really awesome, and it was always a character I wanted to play, but because I never got a chance to get into Mortal Kombat, at least as seriously as I got into Injustice 2, I never really got to learn the character, and it would be a bit of a shame because MK11 is going to be the first Mortal Kombat game I play throughout its entire life cycle. I'm not going to have access to Quan Chi unless, just maybe, he's the pre-order bonus for MK11. Those are the names that I thought I'd mention in my video. There's a ton more names out there who could be the pre-order DLC character, and I think more than likely, Kotal Khan will actually be the pick. I think Dynasty's right about this one, but if he's not, hopefully one of my names get picked because I like these characters and I would love to see them return, but maybe not necessarily in the story. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. My name has been Bilbzy. If you enjoyed the video at all, leaving a like helps other people find it. Subscribe to keep up to date with future content, and I will see you in tomorrow's video.